Today I'm going to make a sponge. It's like a Victoria sponge, it is a Victoria sponge, but what I am going to do is I'm going to make a fruit upside down cake, all right? So I've got some lovely little molds here, but you can quite easily do this in a cake tin. You can see here that this is a pineapple upside down cake, and then we've just decorated it with some fresh fruit, which is lovely. Okay, so you can do this with any kind of fruit. Pineapples, blueberries, strawberries, whatever you like. You need to measure out your butter and your sugar, and you're going to cream the butter and sugar together. That's the first thing you're going to do. Super easy. You can do this in a machine. I'm using a 2-egg mix, which is 100 grams of butter, 100 of sugar. I'm using caster sugar here, but you don't have to use caster sugar. You could use a light brown sugar if you like. It's up to you. So give that a good mix. Depending on what you want your sponge to taste of, I'm going to add a little bit of vanilla, and I'm going to be using vanilla extract, which is nicer and stronger, more expensive, but it gives it better flavour. Give that a good mix. Okay, there we go. I've got 2 big, large eggs. It's really important to whisk up your eggs really well and get loads and loads of bubbles and air into the eggs, all right? I'm also going to cheat and add a little bit of baking powder just to make sure that it rises. I'm using self-raising, but I'm just going to make sure. Only add half the egg at this stage and half the flour at this stage. If you add all the eggs straight away, you'll find that the mixture will curdle, and you don't want it to curdle. So that's the first mix, like that. Like I say, if you've got a machine and you don't want to use your own muscles, then grab a machine. But it's quite easy to do, to be honest, by hand. Saves washing up as well. Right, so get all that flour. Like I say, that's a self-raising flour, and I've just cheated a little bit and put in a little bit of baking powder just to make sure that I have a nice rise on the sponge. Okay, so once it's like that, lots of air, make it nice and light and fluffy. And then all I'm going to do with these molds, I've sprayed a little bit of oil into the molds. I'm going to put into this one, I'm going to put a few blueberries just on the bottom like that. And into this mold, I'm going to put just enough chunks just to cover the base of this mold. Again, if you were doing this in a tin, you would just pop it in the bottom of the tin like that. And then all you do is you take a spoon or your spoon here and you drop it into the mold. Don't overfill the molds. Leave it with a little bit to come up the edge, and give it a little bash to get all the air out and to get that mixture going right to the bottom of the little mold. And then you pop those into the oven for about, these will probably only take about 20 minutes because they're not very big. And I would bake those for 15, 20 minutes, check them. And I would say temperature about 180. And hopefully at the end, you'll be able to turn them out and you will have a beautiful upside down cake.